What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video we have a lot to go over because Tesla actually got a big price upgrade and their predicted price is $1,580. So we're going to go over how this could affect NIO, and we're also going to go over some delisting concerns and kind of bring these concerns down to earth. And I'm going to give you the information that you guys probably have been looking for in terms of delisting concerns, maybe not only for NIO but for other Chinese EV stocks as well. And then I'm also going to touch on what analysts currently think of NIO and whether they rate them a sell or a buy or anything in between. But before we actually jump into all the content, for those of you who are new here, my name is Evan and I make videos that show you guys different ways of making money in the stock market. So if that interests you guys, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss when I upload. Also, because I haven't really posted much in the last few months, I would really appreciate if you guys hit the like button because it would kind of help boost up these first few videos that I post and help get them back into the algorithm. So I'd really appreciate if you guys could help me out and hit the like button. But with that out of the way, first things first, I want to show you guys where NIO's trading at today. And it looks like right now they're down about 1.5%. Right at the beginning of the trading day, right around market open, they actually burst up and they got up to about 35.50. But then since then they've tapered down and it looks like they're kind of leveling out right around 1.5% in the red. Now this is due to a number of things right now because we know the overall market is down. At least the last time I checked, the whole market was down about 0.1%. And then there's also still concerns about the worldwide sickness. And it also doesn't help that Tesla's down today as well. And obviously that's also due to the overall market being down. But you guys know that Tesla really influences other stocks. And that's another reason why I want to go over this new Tesla upgrade in terms of their share price and how that's going to trickle over and affect NIO, not only in the next few weeks, but also in the coming months. And actually, if you guys take a look at Tesla here, you can see that they're down about 4%, and it looks like they're still dropping as of right now. They may even pull all the way down to $1,000 today, which we haven't seen in a few trading days. But moving on to the actual price upgrade and the price target for Tesla, like I mentioned earlier, this price target is $1,580. So an analyst from New Street Research boosted his price target for Tesla stock to a new street high of $1,580 on Tuesday. And when this was actually announced, Tesla did rise about 1.6%. But I think it's worth mentioning, especially if you're an investor in NIO stock, because NIO and Tesla do go hand in hand quite often. And a lot of times NIO does follow the chart of Tesla pretty closely. So I think if you're going to be invested in a stock like NIO, or you're going to look into potentially buying into NIO in the future, I think it's a good thing to look at bigger stocks in that same space. And in this example, Tesla is a great stock to look after if you're considering buying into NIO. Now this kind of leads me into my next point, which is analyst ratings on NIO. Right now there's a consensus recommendation of a buy rating for NIO, and this translates into a mean rating of 2.0, and of 24 analysts looking at the stock, only one analyst gave NIO a sell rating. And then there was also one analyst that rated the stock as overweight and two advised a hold, but the big majority of these analysts, 20 of them actually, rated NIO as a buy. There wasn't any analyst that gave them an underweight rating, and estimates right now put the company's current quarter earnings per share at -9 cents. Now I'm not saying analysts are always right in their predictions, and oftentimes they are incorrect. But to have such a big majority of analyst ratings rating NIO as a buy, especially when we look at the charts, it's pretty obvious to see that NIO is being extremely oversold right now. And we know why this is happening, but for the everyday investor who just wants to buy a stock on the cheap, buying stocks like right now when there's a big majority of analyst ratings saying to buy into a stock, and you can see with your own eyes that they're pulling back quite substantially. And even right now, it seems like NIO is kind of leveling out and they've found somewhat of a support line right between $32 and $33. It definitely makes it seem like right now would be a good time to at least start doing some research other than just watching videos on YouTube. Start diving into this stock and actually looking into their fundamentals and look at what drives a stock like NIO. Now with that mentioned, one of the big things that is affecting NIO's share price, and not only NIO but a lot of other Chinese stocks as well, is the fear of delisting from US exchanges. If you guys have been invested in NIO or any other Chinese stock for any extended period of time, I'm sure you guys have come across the fear, or at least the thought, that these stocks could be delisted at some point in the future. Over the last month, NIO has declined by about 19%, and they've considerably underperformed the S&P 500, which in that same time frame remained roughly flat. So it goes to show that pretty much at any time, any kind of small rumor could spread fear among investors, and you could see people selling out of their positions when they never really intended to in the first place. But it seems like the majority of this fear is coming from a firm named Didi, and they're a Chinese stock which is currently on the US exchange, but they actually intend to delist in less than 6 months after going public. Now, this is coming amid regulatory pressures in both the US and China. However, the longer term outlook for NIO hasn't really changed. Just because another stock is choosing to delist doesn't mean that NIO is going to be delisted. I think too many people have this confused, and they think that Didi is being forced to remove themselves from the New York Stock Exchange, when it more comes down to them choosing to delist themselves. Now, of course, it's not impossible that NIO becomes delisted at some point in the future, or they choose to delist themselves. But I think at least in the next few years, there's really not much of a concern there, because it's really in NIO's best interest, because at some point they want to expand into the US. Right now, they're selling vehicles in Norway, and they're going to be expanding into Germany, and they have plans to expand into 5 more countries next year. They're also looking to increase production capacity at one of their plants to 240,000 vehicles per year by the first half of 2022. And with anticipation of their ET7 and deliveries likely beginning in the first quarter of next year, and also 2 other models in the pipeline for a 2022 launch, one of which could be the ET5, which is very anticipated for their NIO Day event on December 18th. At least in my opinion, I think that it's in their best interest to pursue staying in the US and never delisting from US exchanges. And right now, NIO is only trading at 5 times their forward sales estimates. Now, of course, that's not great when you compare them to any other stock. But when you compare them to their competitors like Tesla and other EV stocks, they're actually substantially cheaper right now. And they're likely to exceed growth expectations in the next few years, and they should experience multiple expansions into multiple countries in the next year. And because of this, we're going to see their stock price increase significantly in future years. It doesn't really take a genius to see that a stock backed by the Chinese government like NIO is pretty much bound to succeed in the future. Even if right now they're not currently profitable, if you have such a big entity backing a company like NIO and they want them to succeed, I don't see why that wouldn't end up being the case in the future. Now, I think it's worth mentioning, I don't get paid to promote NIO or anything like that. I just think that they're a sound company, and I think there is a lot of growth potential in the future. Before NIO came along, I was a big proponent of Tesla stock, and I really thought Tesla stock had a lot of potential as well. I currently still think they do. I just think that the growth increase from NIO could be substantially bigger than Tesla, because Tesla still is continuing to go up, and they have random spikes where they just shoot up like 20 or 30% over a few months. Now, we've seen that from NIO before too, and I'm not saying that's not going to happen in the near future, but I think over the next 5, 10, and 15 years, NIO really has a lot more growth and a bigger percentage to grow. One good way to describe it would be to compare NIO to Tesla and say, for example, NIO got up to the point where Tesla's at right now. Tesla right now has a market cap of around $1 trillion, where NIO right now is at 50 billion. So that's a 20x increase. So if we took NIO's share price right now of $34 and 20x that, they'd be trading at about $700. So you can see how there's really a lot of room to grow for NIO. I think both companies are really going to continue growing and exceeding in the future. But this is just one of the reasons why I constantly make videos about a stock like NIO. Now, of course, there are risks and rewards to investing in a smaller stock, where a stock like Tesla, you're probably going to have a smoother ride investing in them. But I assume most of you guys want these high growth stocks, and I assume that you guys want to be invested in a stock where you're going to see bigger returns, even if it means more risk. Of course, that means you guys shouldn't be investing in anything that you can't afford to lose. Now, with all that said, I want to know what you guys think down in the comments, and what you think could happen with NIO in the future, and whether there's actually a concern for them to be delisted or not. As I discussed, I don't think there's really a huge concern. Of course, it is still a concern, but I think it's a lot smaller than people are anticipating. But again, let me know down in the comments, and I'd like to discuss with you guys and see what your guys' thoughts are on this subject. And if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, because it really does help out the channel. And like I said, I could really use your guys' support in these first few videos, helping boost my videos into the algorithm again. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you back here in the next one. Bye.